Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me. In my shop, I'm going to be doing the alignment of the AM band front end. That'd be the RF and the oscillator alignment on this radio, which is hooked up and all ready to go. So, I'm following the directions. 200 picofarad capacitor on the antenna line. You can see it right there. 600 kilohertz setting on the frequency generator. Let's get it down there. You see the radio is pretty tuned already. It's pretty impressive. I got the radio dialed. No, it's not actually dialed to 600. Just a funny coincidence. I happen to stop it where 600 will come out. So we want to make this align the radio, change the local oscillator frequency such that the pointer is sitting on 600 here. Wow, it is actually very close. Let me do that. So I'm going to put this on 600 down here and make sure there's no parallax in my eye. I'm down on my hands and knees here. Well, just on my knees. You can see my hands. But you can still hear it at 600. So that's 600. Just want to pick it up and make it as strong as possible. Now the adjustment is a oscillator core 600 kilohertz. That's the guy. I know where he is already. I'm hunting him down. I don't think this screwdriver is going to work. Let's try this one here. Just a wee bit smaller. Okay, so we're watching this meter now. Double checking this. Don't want to make mistakes. So this is the one towards the back of the radio. Okay, so I'm going to make contact and I'm going to watch and see if the meter jumps at all. Nope. So a metal screwdriver is okay. Almost always is, in fact. There we go. Now basically I'm tuning the radio is what I'm doing. It's just not a lot different than turning the main tuning knob. There we are. Okay, so that's peaked up now. This is right on 600. Okay, now I think there's another. You do the same sort of thing at the other end now. 1500 kilohertz, and this time you're changing a capacitor. You got to go back and forth a few times because the inductor at the low end and the capacitor at the high end, they still have a reach to the other end of the band a little bit. So okay, so we'll go to 1500. So we have the oscillator running at 600 hertz, and we're picking up a signal at 1200. So let's see, from 600 to 1200. Wow, I won't be able to explain that one. Move on, Jim, move on. Okay, so we're up around 1500 now. I upset my frequency counter. He's going wild. Okay, so 1500. I can read the dial down here. Somewhere here. Oh, now we're in trouble. We are in trouble. Come on, counter. Ah! Well, I can't. Okay. Gotta stop and wait for that thing to come back. Doggone it. Of course, just as I click stop, it comes back. So we're pretty close to 15. Okay. 15. What do we hear? Where is it? Hey man, where are you? Hey, 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 hey. So yeah, a fairly strong signal heading towards the radio. Okay, I'm going to turn up the power here. It's a 10 times increase. I got it going with no. Got 30% modulation on there. That's what this meter's showing. At 1,000 hertz, we should hear 1,000 hertz. Come on. Okay, what? You know what dumb thing I'm doing? Well, this isn't a dumb thing. The dumb thing is I'm reading the wrong scale, but that's okay because they almost exactly match up anyway. 1,500. Well, I don't get it. Let's turn it up even higher. Now this is a ridiculously strong radio signal being fed into the antenna of this radio. If this thing doesn't react to it, then what's happening? Oh, I know what's happening. Okay. Oh, and I didn't get enough sleep last night or something like that. That's 15 megahertz there, duh. $1,500. Okay, now we're at 1,500. There it is. So now we're putting out a fairly light signal into this radio. The fact that it's picking it up, this is a really good radio. Okay, so this is supposed to be 1,500, but pointing to the right scale, Jim. We're closer to 1,600. So we got to get this guy. What is that? Did I hear that terrible? Just ignore it. Don't pay attention to it. So what I'm going to do is here, turn it towards where I want it to go until I just barely hear it. Okay, and then I'm going to change the frequency of the. I'm going to change the value of the capacitor. Duh. C3. Capacitor C3. Of course, they didn't put the number designations on this sheet. They just put the English names of what it is you're tuning. The English name is Broadcast Oscillator 1500. So, and here, antenna core. So we're looking for 1600 written on here. These are all for those push buttons. Hey, where are you? There it is, C3, right on the capacitor. Oscillator condenser 1500 kilocycles. It's on the inboard set. It's the AM oscillator. Ooh, it's pretty rough looking, really. Oh, what was that? That, I think, is the sound of the furnace fan coming on in my house, if you heard that bzzz sound. There it is in this filthy dirty thing here. Wow. Well, it's all working. So dirty to my eye, but I need to get a bigger screwdriver because it's a nice big screw there to power on. Oh, yeah, that's the right one. Now the objective here. So we have this at 15. So you're turning this and turning this until the dial says 15. I need too many hands here. So let's get the tone. Oop, don't turn that. Pass the tone. Pass the tone. Now let's see where we are. Just a touch high yet. A little bit down. Now my eye is on the meter here. Where's the meter? The meter's not reacting at all. Maybe the wire fell off it. Yeah, something's happened to the meter. Okay, got the meter going again. Using a big screwdriver. I think I got it at the peak anyway, but let's take a look. There we go. There we go. Check the dial here. Right on the money. $600, right on. That's good. 600. No need to go back and forth, back and forth. That's great. So now the dial should be accurate from end to end. So the next thing now is to tune up the front end of the radio. No, it is not. Broadcast antenna. So that happens after you do the shortwave antenna and do this rock through signal thing on shortwave. Okay, so to do the short wave, you want a 300 ohm fake antenna, dummy antenna. That's not really a dummy antenna. 300 ohms in series with the local oscillator lead. Starting at the top, 17 megahertz. C1. Okie doke. Shortwave band here. I'm hoping this will really fire up. The radio's working really well, but I'm still hoping this will really boost it up. I think I'm just guessing that it's not aligned as well as it could be on shortwave. C1. C1 is called the shortwave antenna adjust. 15 kilohertz shortwave antenna. Oh, antenna. 17, there it is there. So it's the other one on the big capacitor. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Okay. Fine. Okay, let's get the signal generator Well, let's find out what's happening here. First of all, on shortwave, 17 megahertz way up here. What was that scratchy? Okay, 17, right on the money here. Okay, so the radio's tuned to 17. We certainly don't hear it. Let me turn up the signal strength. Okay, so I'm putting a strong signal in now. We can hear it. Let's see where it really is. It's right there. I can't even see the pointer move when I do this. Come on, meter, what are you doing over there? Meter's taking a break. Ah. Loose. Take this occasion to throw my tools around. Ow. Products of another country. Okay. Inexpensive products of another country. Now, we're all set to go now. So, you know what? We don't have to do anything. The 17 is showing up right where it's supposed to show up. Next one is we flip back to... Oh, I didn't put the 300 ohm thing on there. Does it matter? Really? Does it really matter? 300 ohms, eh? Let's see if I can find one quick. 300 ohms. So 300 would be orange, black, brown. Orange, black, brown. You know, another thing I could do. Why don't I try this? Where's my... I had a good idea to use a piece of equipment. Where is that piece of equipment? Keep small pieces of equipment. Okay, so I mean, this is kind of a crazy thing to use. He's got huge amounts of leads and stuff like that, but let's give it a try. It's going to cause some leakage of signals. In fact, if I could use this, maybe if I change these cords to shielded wires and stuff. So that's coming. Let's do it this way. From the signal generator into the decade box up onto the radio. So we'll set this to resistor only. That's a 500K. I'm watching the meter over there too, 5K. So that's 2 times, that's 1,000. So this is roughly what they're asking for. Doesn't seem to make any difference at all, right? Maybe knocking it back. Yeah, lots of fun with this guy. Okay, so we'll keep him in the circuit. Maybe become the standard approach here. Even though there's... So I could reduce the amount of radiation coming off these wires just by keeping them twisted, I believe. Okay, that's not going to do anything. Good enough. Okay. Maybe I should mount this box somewhere here. Okay. What am I doing? So we're going to switch back to AM. Oh, it goes to 200 picofarad again. Sorry, I read that wrong. We can do it with the box. And sorry there, I'm just thinking about too many things at once here. So we go to 600, broadcast antenna at 600, peak it up, and we do it again. We do another one. Oh, we do this twice for the broadcast. So it was only one shortwave adjustment, and they didn't even have to do it. Back to AM here. So 200 picofarad, 600 kilocycles. Let's go 600 kilocycles. No doubt this has to be tuned to 600. This is supposed to be a very, very small capacitor, so we will switch capacitor. Very, very small. That's a 0.00040 zeros and a 5. So it's bigger than what they're calling for, but I won't worry about it. Why don't we hear anything now? We're tuned to 600 because we're still on a short wave band. How do you like that, eh? Isn't that something? Right on the money. Okay, so make sure the radio's tuned in perfectly by watching the meter there. So there's ABC action happening. Watch. The meter's gonna... I'm gonna turn the dial. As I turn it, the meter will dip. When I stop, it'll come back up. Now, I'll turn it towards the signal. So they go up and down, up and down. It's very hard to align a radio with this kind of thing happening. Which is why we're gonna cut back the signal a lot. Until we can barely hear it. And see it on that meter. We're dead on. This is tuned dead on to that. Now we're ready. L3. I'm going to guess it's just the next one in the line here, right? Antenna core, 600 kilocycles. L3 core. Okay, I'm ready to go. Watching the meter now. Oh, my screwdriver cammed out. This is not going to be easy. Okay, I'm in. Appears to be dead on. Not a lot of difference in that meter. I can hear it. Dead on. So we're not going to get any more out of that. So now we go up 1500 and do C5. C5 is called BC antenna 1500 kilocycles. Antenna condenser 1500 kilocycles. Last time it was C3. Wait a minute. Did I do something wrong here? Broadcast antenna 1500 C5. Broadcast oscillator C3. Okay, no problem. Yeah, C5. No problem. No problem. No problem yet. C5. Broadcast antenna. Here we go again. 1500. Antenna core. Antenna conductor condenser 1500. Got it. It's this one. Okay, watching the meter now. I don't see anything happening. this right? 1500. No, I don't have this right. Duh. Da 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 da. It's okay. 1500 would be a good place to do the 1500 stuff. 1500. Okay. Just tune a bit to max it up. It's pretty good. Checking the frequency dial. 1500 right on. Now I'm a little smarter. C5. In you go. Okay. Oh, what's going on there? There we go. Something funny about this. Tightening it, tightening it. Tightening it. That's tight. There's not the slightest hint of a peak on this. Except to open it up full. What do you want to do about that? Generally, if these things are not peaking, it's a hint that something else is off in the... So we were just fooling around with this broadcast antenna core. Oh boy, could be broadcast antenna coil. Shows an adjustable core. That might be what I was just adjusting. Broadcast antenna coil, there's a capacitor across it. 56. Maybe this capacitor's value is off. That's a micro one. That should be pretty easy to find. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. So, I'm going to hunt that one down. So we got to find this antenna coil and then find this across one part of it. So pretty sure this is the antenna coil because the antenna lead wire is coming right here. Just flying through the middle of the radio to this coil. Somewhere around here we're going to find a capacitor 56 going to ground. So I see one right here. A little bit hidden there, right here. That's coming right off of a post on this coil. And that might not be the only one in there. Just look around here. And there seems to be like a series of them coming across. And that'd be, there's another one here. Oh, I could easily pick the wrong one here. They're both. So this goes to ground. This one is across the coil. So the one I found first is going to ground. And that's on the shortwave coil, not the broadcast. I find that one. Right across the coil. Not going to ground. I didn't see anything in there. There's going to be some dastardly hidden capacitor. I suppose the radio designers are chuckling as they build the radio and go, oh, this is really going to throw off the repair guys. Okay. shady out of focus. Let's see how it is here. Okay, I can probably get along with this. So that's the guy I don't think it is. Because going to ground, those ones are all going to ground. There's one down there, but that's kind of not in the right area. There's one going over the cross here. But none of those are really in the right place. It's really got to be kind of associated with this coil here. Remember, the radio's switched on, Jim. Don't... Actually, you're now looking straight down at the connection I was talking about earlier, where you see the light wire from the coil goes into the bunch, the terminal there that I did a bunch of soldering on, and I must have unsoldered that wire, that light wire, and then it's not really visible, except I can see it now. You know, you can't usually see things until you see them. Well, I don't see any capacitor here. Well, this has to be the antenna coil right here. Way down. What are they up to? Just that one. So if I got this totally wrong, I'm pretty sure this is a oscillator coil here. Certainly has a capacitor sitting there. Appears to be wired. Well, there appears to be wired. Well, it doesn't look like it goes to ground. That'd be the only target one that's across a coil. Maybe I got the coils mixed up. I don't know how. Well, there's just nothing else in here. No matter how much I look. No, these guys have nothing to do with it here. Famous last words. The only one it can be, you know, is that one down there in the bottom. So is that the antenna coil? You know what? It's going to show. Maybe I can find out in the schematic information. Now these two coils here are these coils that are, no, these are the ones I was adjusting. I was adjusting all this stuff. It's this coil and another one, maybe this one, that are related to these things. Maybe this thing. Son of a gun. What am I to do here? Well, one thing, I forget about it. We already know the radio's working quite well. And just forget about it. Who cares? Another one is take a shot at changing out that little mica capacitor. You know, mica capacitors. I mean, I remember this one here. This is a mica capacitor. It's totally open to the atmosphere. I mean, it still had the right value on it. I think I'm going to leave it because I think I'm just going to get myself into trouble. This is at the high end of the AM band. There's not much to listen to around here, at least during the day at the high end of the AM band. So we'll leave it as is. That's my decision. That's how I'm going to play it. And with that, we've hit the bottom of the list. Rock signal through. Rock through signal. We're going to go back and we're going to repeat this 17 megahertz shortwave thing and this rock through signal thing. I want to experiment with that. And you're adjusting C1, and C1 was, oh yeah, what's the name of it? Not C1. Shortwave antenna. Shortwave antenna. Antenna condenser 1500 kilocycles. 1500 kilos. That's 1.5. What am I doing here? See, I've been at this too long. There it is. There it is. There it is. Right on the big thing. Right on the big thing. Right on the big thing. Okay, so we need some kind of antenna buffering here too to do this. 1700 antenna buffering is 300 ohms. There we are. 300 ohms buffering the signal. That snapping was me picking different settings down here. And megacycles, shortwave band, 17. Okay, what am I boobing up now? Full volume. It's a fairly strong signal being fed to the radio now. Okay, let's do what it says. Rock signal through. Front one. So we got her tuned right in. Wow. This is really tough. I'm gonna rock this through here. I work the big wheel. Boy, oh boy. This is not gonna be easy. Okay. Screwdriver in. Now, this is what I've figured out. Let me do this and then explain it. Oh, this is just hair trigger stuff. So if you try to get that meter to go up higher. This isn't particularly possible. Awful lot of problems with doing this, and the thing you're turning relaxes back. It's a backlash problems here below it. I really can't do this. I don't know. How are you supposed to do this? Both these things are hair trigger. Both of them suffer backlash. Okay. Okay, so we'll put this up. Okay, so that seems to be the highest we can get it. That's the screwdriver effect. And abandon the screwdriver. That's clearly not helping. Boy, oh boy. Let's try. I don't know. Even this little piece of metal is doing the same thing here. try. What did I just do? Okay, that's okay. Just pulled my SDR out. Try these. I see this as a slender thing. You put that in the screw and then you turn this and all that happens is the shaft twists. I've showed this so many times. This guy's bulkier. He's made to not do that. Can I get away with this? Okay. In and out, no effect. Okay, perfect. Put them in. It doesn't really want to go in. So now that's just pressure on the screw doing that. And you know, it cams right out. It's not going in deep enough. I filed this down to make it fit, it will lose its strength. You see? You see? You see what goes on in here? Another attempt. This is a bogus attempt. Another very stiff tool, but all metal here. But I think it's aluminum. Is that going to help? Not really. So then what's going to happen is too, as you're turning this, it's, you know, there's play in the screw head, in the screw slot. As this thing moves around, its contact with the screw head varies, and so you have varying amounts of metal as far as the radio is concerned attached to that screw. And it just, the meter's just, you reach the point of impossibility here. Unless I somehow get that screw to go really loose. Hey, here's another attempt. How about this one? Ah, this looks like a good one here. Let's try this. This might work. Yeah, goes in the slot nice. See, I just have so many tools I don't know what I got. Here we go. Wow. Okay, so the screw is sticky, so it's jumping. It's not bad. Go back. Okay, now we do this. We do what? Really? Am I going to have any success at doing this, for crying out loud? Chances are I'm going to just make the radio worse and worse. So what I realized about this particular process, where they tell you to rock this, you can rock. What's going on is you're trying to align not just two things, but three things all at once. To align three things all at once, you must move two of them. If you have three things you want to line up, okay? Yeah, there's only two, Jim. Okay, three things you want to line up. If you spend all your time moving one of them, well, you'll never correct the problem here. So you have to move at least two of them. It could be any two. So, I have no idea what this looks like on camera. So what you do is, you can't move one and you leave it fixed. You move the other one, you get a max. Then you're wiggling this one. Slowly you will wiggle it into alignment so all three of them are lined up. So finally, after years of doing this, I finally understand, because I've never seen it written anywhere, exactly what you're trying to do. So it's, again, it's a problem of aligning three things at once. And what are the three things? Well, the tuning capacitor, the front end antenna capacitor, and the IF. So the IF is in line with all this stuff. When we're listening to what's coming out of the IF, it's always part of the alignment issue with the radio when you're doing things. So, am I wrong about all this? I don't think so. I think I finally got it. I think I got it. But can I do it? No, I can't do it. I know what's supposed to happen, but I can't do it. So what am I going to do? Well, let me make sure this thing is as loud as it can be anyway, as best I can. Because I really think it's I've knocked some of the wind out of it. Just watching that meter. Oh. Turned up a little bit. Okay. Come on, go up now. There's just such difficulties in doing this. I'd be tempted to hit it with WD-40, you know? WD-40 fixes everything. Look at it, it's like it's doing its own thing. Doesn't matter what I do with the... Okay, so we got it there now. Can I get it to go higher by turning this? Keep talking about higher by a fraction. I'm not really. Backlash. You kinda have to have both these guys going at the same time to get them in line with the third guy. I don't know. Okay, we're gonna abandon the shop at this point. That's it. We're gonna call it a finished radio because I just don't think I can make it any better, and the more I monkey with it, I'll probably just make it worse and worse. So we'll disconnect the signal generator, hook back the outdoor antenna, I like that sound, but I think we're on shortwave. That's horrible. So that buzz wasn't there before. Hey, stuff from the antenna. On the ground? The ground wire? Is there some other piece of equipment hooked up there? Well, there kind of is. I got my scope hooked up. Okay, I'm just gonna, even though we haven't been using it, I've had the scope connected. Let me disconnect the scope. The other thing we've got connected also is this meter. So I'm gonna disconnect that too. Let me just get the scope out of the picture here first. Okay, we'll take the meter out of the picture. Somebody explain to me what that goes in. So this is the ground connection. What is on this wire? This is the ground connection going onto the antenna. Gee, I wonder if I've reversed. I don't know. This is the exactly the same response. Nothing there. But the ground introduces a big buzz. How come? I don't know. I don't know. It's really quite a mystery. So we'll leave it off. Still hear a bit of that. Had a great time tuning this radio around the last video. Let's see if it's still great.
There's a much better way.
It's a commercial broadcast with an advertising on shortwave.
I guess there really is something to these vampire stories. You know, a vampire can't enter your house until you open the door to invite him in. I mean, I guess that's similar to what we're talking about. Okay, we have short time here. I see this similar. I mean, really, this is a spiritual war, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so glad that Bill is here.
Not another war.
This reminds me of the Declaration of Independence. Okay, if Christianity now are delving into Satanism, paganism, what have you, Halloween, whatever, then we're losing power. We lose authority. The Christian church has lost power.
Power.
The Declaration of Independence. Okay, the opposite of
Look
that.
what I noticed here over here.
Socialism.
Socialism.
You are a beast, that you need to be ruled. Is that not Satanism? Is that not?
See the fingerprint?
You need to be ruled. You need to be controlled. The Declaration of Independence says the Creator made you free.
There's another one there.
You see this? When we go into this, we lose our power. We lose everything.
We lose everything. Be scared. Be afraid. Your life's being destroyed. Everybody's against you. They're out to get you. I was showing you the fingerprints of the person who worked on this radio back in 1938. Watched a movie, part of a movie yesterday called Day at the Races. Very famous movie with the Marx Brothers. I've never watched it before. I watched maybe 20 minutes of it, laughing my head off. It's a really funny movie. That movie was shot in 1937, 1 year before this radio was built. Thought that was kind of neat.
But, you know, it's required for the...
Everybody be afraid of everything. I'm lucky. In Canada, we don't feel fearful. We're not... If you say, hey, Canada, hey, Canadian, what are you afraid of? I'm not sure people would come up with much of a political kind of answer to that. From another country where people would list a whole pile of stuff. Don't be afraid. Who knows what these are? There he is! Brother Stare. Okay. Always gotta hear him. Every time you turn on a shortwave radio, if you don't find Brother Stare's voice coming out of your speaker, then there's something terribly wrong. Okay, I think we're done on this radio. I really do. I got some cleanup stuff to do with it, and there's a bloody fly flying around in here, for crying out loud. A little bit of cleanup stuff to do. Put it back in the cabinet. The cabinet's just here behind me. I'm pretty excited about what it's going to look like. We'll make that the next video, the finishing up of this radio. I'll do the cleaning off camera, of course. We'll see it back in its cabinet. Wow, fantastic. So this radio cost me, this one here, $20. I paid $20 for this radio from a antique dealer, not at a yard sale. But I think when I'm done, it's going to be worth a couple hundred or more. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and catch you on the next video.